and welcome to the Jockey Club's Horse Farm Management Software for Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. This is a tutorial that will show you how to do two things. First, how to update a horse's boarding type, and second, how to depart a horse. Okay, let's take a look at the horses I currently have in my horse list. You will see, this is a little bit of a review, but you will see on each of these horses, they have been verified as a thoroughbred. Ownership has been assigned. An arrival date has been entered, and the boarding type has been selected. Also, each horse will have a procedure entry for the arrival date, and that is to indicate the method by which this horse arrived. We'll look at another one, Daisy Be Good. Again, a horse has been verified as a thoroughbred. Ownership has been indicated. The horse has an arrival date, and a boarding type has been selected. Additionally, a procedure entry has been made that indicates the method by which this horse arrived. We'll take a quick look at one more just for review. Again, the horse has been verified as a thoroughbred. Ownership has been indicated. An arrival date has been entered, and a boarding type has been selected. Additionally, a procedure entry is here with the arrival method, and again, that arrival method indicates the method by which that horse arrived. Okay, as time goes on, you may need to update the status of your horses. Some may become permanent residents. Some may get adopted, and even some may die. So let's first look at how to update a horse's boarding type. So this horse, Be Distinct, we're going to edit. And this horse currently came to the organization and was has a status of rehabilitation. This horse is out of rehab, and it is actually going to move to sanctuary. So there's no change in the ownership, so we're going to click on the boarding tab, and we're simply going to click the button that says Change Boarding. It's currently at the boarding type of rehabilitation, but that has changed, so we're going to change the boarding. And on November 15th, 2018, click OK. This horse on this date, on November the 15th of 2018, its board type changed to Sanctuary. So we're going to click the down arrow on the boarding type, and we're going to select Sanctuary. So again, originally, when the horse arrived in, it was at rehab. In November of that same year, the board type changed, and it became the boarding type of Sanctuary. And we're going to save. This is simply a change boarding type, and we're just going to save. Let's do another one. This horse also was in rehab. Nothing has changed. The horse originally came in on the 1st of January, or the 11th of January, and was a boarding type of rehab. This horse also is going to be changed to the boarding type of Sanctuary. So again, we're going to click the button Change Boarding. On what day did this horse's status change? When did it go from rehab to sanctuary? So we'll say, and again, when you enter dates, you can either type the date in, or you can click on the date or the calendar. I'm just going to type the date in. So on October the 17th, 2018, this horse changed from rehab and it changed to the boarding type of sanctuary. Again, you'll click the boarding type arrow, select sanctuary. And again, that's all that we're doing here. We're just changing the boarding type, and we're going to save. Musical Note also was in rehab, and this horse also changed the status from rehab to sanctuary. Click the boarding tab, click change boarding, enter the date that board changed. Click OK. On this date, the horse was no longer considered rehab, its status changed, and its boarding type became sanctuary. And save. One more. This horse actually was in sanctuary. And let's edit. And again, we're going to change the boarding type from sanctuary. We're going to click the button change boarding, enter a new date, and this horse actually went from sanctuary and it went into retraining. Again, different boarding type. On that particular date, it came in as a sanctuary status, and then the board was changed to retraining. We're going to save. Okay, so next, let's look at how to update a horse's boarding type as well as enter a departure date. In these examples, the horses were of one particular horse type or boarding type, and they are now deceased. So we will update their boarding type, and we will give them a departure date. So Lulu's Dream was currently in as sanctuary. So what we'll do is we're going to change her boarding type. She currently was at sanctuary. And we are going to change board. She has deceased. So we're going to change board. And on January, her boarding type became euthanized or died. And on that very same day, on the 3rd of this year, was the day she died, so we will give her a departure date on that same date. New departure. Again, she arrived in as sanctuary. Her board type did change. She was euthanized or died, and she has a departure on that very same date. And we're just going to put a note here: shipped to, euthanized, died. We will also, because this horse has departed the farm, we're also going to enter a procedure. We have her arrival method, and we now have to enter her departure method. You need to indicate the method by which this horse departed. So we're going to click New. And again, you can type in the date, or you can click the calendar. On this particular day, what was the procedure? What was the method by which this horse departed your farm? Again, you're going to click the down arrow and select a procedure from the list. Departure method, she was euthanized or she died. And save. Okay, so this record is now complete. She has her original arrival method. There is a departure method. In her boarding tab, again, the original arrival, the board did change because she did die, and on that same day, of course, there's a departure date. And we'll save. Okay, the next horse, remember the day. We're going to edit. She also was in at Sanctuary. We're going to click the boarding tab. Her original arrival date, of course, is there with the boarding type of Sanctuary. This mare also died, so we are going to change board. Click the Change Boarding button. On what day did her boarding type change? Okay, on the 10th, her boarding type changed. She no longer was at Sanctuary. Select the boarding type from the drop-down list. Again, boarding type she became is she was euthanized or she died. And on that very same day, of course, she did depart the farm. So we're going to click New Departure. She departed on that same day. And put a note here, ship to euthanized or she died. The next thing that you'll do in this example, since she did depart the farm, you're going to enter a procedure for her. You're going to enter a method. This is the method by which that horse departed the farm. You've got the arrival method. How did she get there? Now you have to enter the procedure. How and why did she leave? So we're going to do New. And you can click again. You can click on the calendar, or you can type the date in. So we'll do the 10th. You're going to select the procedure by which she departed from the drop-down list. Again, she departed. What is her method of departure? She was euthanized or she died. And you can click Save. Okay, so again, the things that you need to do when a horse changes board and leaves, you are going to change board, enter the departure date. In this case, she died, and you're going to make a procedure entry. What is the method by which the horse departed? Again, her departure method, she was euthanized or she was died. And save. All right, we'll do one more. Again, this is a case where you have a horse at a particular board type, and in this case, the horse did indeed die. So we're going to pick one more horse. You're going to click the boarding tab. Her original arrival date is there. She was at Sanctuary. This horse, again, this horse is one that did die. We're going to do change boarding. enter the date when her boarding type changed. In this case, what is the date that she died? And her boarding type on this day became euthanized or died. On that particular day, again, she did die, so you have to depart her. New departure. Click the New Departure button. Alright, and I'm going to ship to euthanized or died. Alright, so she originally came in on the 1st, or in January, as sanctuary. Her board was changed, her board type changed to euthanized or died, and she departed on that same day. And the last thing you have to do is, again, click on procedures. You have to tell the method by which this horse departed. So click procedures. You're going to enter a new procedure. You've already got how the horse arrived. You need to have a new procedure telling how did the horse depart. So we're going to do new. What day did this happen? Again, it's the same day. In this case, she died on that day. She departed that day. So the procedure entry will be, again, the very same day. And you're going to select a procedure from the drop-down list. Her departure method, she was euthanized or she died. And you're going to click Save. Again, just one more time in review. This horse originally arrived as sanctuary, and then at a point in time she did die. You're going to change board first. Change board. She became euthanized or died, and you're going to give this horse a departure date. What day did this horse depart, or in this case, what day did she die? And then the last thing you would do is enter a procedure indicating the method by which this horse departed your farm. Again, you've got her original arrival method. She was donated. And now you've got the final entry, the departure method. She was euthanized or she died. And you'll click Save. Okay, and now in this last example, we have a few horses that have actually been in retraining and have now been adopted. So let's go back to our horse list, and let's pick this horse, Super Cinnamon, who has been in retraining. We're going to edit. And, of course, the ownership at this point is not changing. The organization is always the ownership on record. So we're going to go to boarding. So this horse has been in retraining. Came in and has been in retraining, and this horse has been adopted. So, again, we're going to make some entries to update this horse's information, this horse's record. We're going to change the board. And this horse actually was adopted on this date. Click OK. And the boarding type is going to become adopted. And on that particular date, when she was adopted, she did leave. She left the farm. The adopter picked her up and left the farm. So we are going to give a new departure. And again, it's the very same date on the 4th. Okay. And we're going to, the adopter, if you've got it handy or if you've got it on record, you're going to ship to, and you can put the adopter's name, what can you do? And the address can be anything that you have on file. And you can put a city. No. State. I mean, if you have the full address, you can put it in, or you can just leave it blank if you don't have the entire address. Okay, so you've got the horse arrived originally. You changed the board because it got adopted. And then the horse, of course, departed. And again, the last thing you need to do to complete this record, come to your procedures. You're going to indicate again what is the method by which that horse departed the farm. So procedures, you're going to click New, and on what day did this horse depart the farm? And the procedure by which the horse left. So this horse, the departure method, this horse was adopted. And you can save. So again, original arrival, you changed the board because the horse was adopted. You departed the horse because the horse, again, left the farm. It was adopted. And you made the final entry in the procedures. You've got the original method that the horse was donated, and then you've got the departure method, the horse was adopted. And you'll save. Let's do another one just for review. This horse was in retraining, of course. We're going to edit. We're going to go to boarding. The horse originally came in, of course, and the board type was retraining. So that has now changed because the horse has been adopted. So we're going to change the board. And we're going to enter the date. We're going to select the boarding type. In November, this horse became adopted. It went from retraining to adopted. And on that same date, of course, the horse was adopted, and it did leave the farm. You're going to click New Departure. And you're going to, again, if you've got the information, ship to the information on who the adopter was, and an address, phone number, contact information for that adopter, if you have that on file. And then again, you're going to click Procedures. So you've got the original arrival method, and you need to indicate how or why did this horse leave. So we're going to select New, and on this particular date, what was the method by which this horse left? The departure method for this horse was adopted. And save. So in review again, you've got your original arrival at retraining. The board type was changed on this date. The board type was changed to adopted. And the horse left the farm. And on that day that the horse left the farm, a departure method, of course, was entered, and the departure method, of course, is adopted. And you'll click Save. We'll do one last one just for review. Tough exercise. And edit. Okay, we're going to click on the boarding tab. This horse also, of course, has been adopted. We're going to click the boarding tab. The original arrival date is there, and the original boarding type is retraining. So we're going to do first, we're going to change boarding. And on this particular date, okay, on this particular date, this boarding type became adopted. And the next step is new departure. You need to add a departure date for this horse that was adopted. New departure. Okay. Ship to, the information if you've got it. And then you're going to click Procedure tab. The Procedure tab will indicate, of course, the original arrival method. This horse was surrendered. We're going to make a new entry. New entry. And on this particular day, the horse was adopted, and you need a departure method, adopted, and save. Okay, again, you've got your original arrival date and original boarding type. You changed the board. This horse became adopted on this particular day. You gave the horse a departure date. And then you gave the horse a departure method. So you will have always, if the horse leaves the farm, you will always have an initial arrival method, and you will always have the departure method for these horses. Okay, and I'm going to save. And that's a review, again, of how to change the board. You're going to actually update the board type, and how you will actually depart a horse. If you have any questions, or if you need any additional help, please feel free to contact the TAA at 1-800-333-1778, or you can send an email to info@thoroughbredaftercare.org. Again, that number is 1-800-333-1778, or send an email to info@thoroughbredaftercare.org.